A lot of people have been asking about the Super DX mode on these new YAESU radios. They want a demonstration of it. So I'm going to show you 3 different scenarios using the new audio processing on the FTM 150. This first example is going to be on the strongest weather station I have, which is just a few miles from my house. It sounds pretty clear as it is.
Partly sunny. A slight chance of snow showers between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m.
And now I'm going to turn it on.
Snow between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. Highs in the lower 30s. West winds 15 to 25 miles an hour with gusts up to 45 miles.
So on a really strong signal, it doesn't change much. It gets rid of that buzzing in the background. The transmitter's got a buzz. It filtered that out, but ultimately it just makes it sound like you're talking underwater and holding your nose.
Lower 20s.
It's making this analog station sound a little bit more like digital, a little more like DMR or P25 or D-Star.
35 miles an hour after midnight.
So I won't want to leave it on unless I needed it, but this is what it sounds like on a strong signal.
Around 30. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour with gusts up to 30 miles an hour. Friday night, mostly cloudy through 10 p.m., then becoming partly cloudy. Lows.
All right, the next example is going to be on a semi-weak station, but one that's still pretty clear. There's obviously static in the background, but it's not really hard to understand what's going on. So here is a semi-weak station.
The risk for power outages and treacherous travel will be greatest across the Allegheny Mountains and Laurel Highlands. Use extra caution when driving, especially if operating a high-profile vehicle. Secure outdoor objects. The following is a non-precipitation statement from the National Weather Service for the following county.
So you can see it does a really good job at removing the static. It removes almost all the static, but the digital sounding artifact is even stronger now. It sounds even more like DMR or P25. So the static goes away, but you get a really weird artifact, and it's more noticeable when it's a semi-weak signal. Now I'm going to go to a really weak signal. Let's turn it off.
Mostly cloudy. A slight chance of snow showers after 8 p.m. Lows in the lower 20s. West winds 15 to 25 miles.
So it's pretty weak, but you can still understand exactly every word that's being said. Now I'm going to turn Super DX on, and it just completely trashes it.
Friday, partly sunny. Highs 30. Northwest winds.
So
30 miles an hour.
you can see when the signal gets below a certain threshold, the Super DX mode actually makes it worse. Every human ear can copy that.
Here is the latest National Weather Service forecast for Bedford, Fulton, and Franklin counties.
Like, no ham radio operator is going to have a hard time understanding what's being said without it on. But as soon as you turn it on, it actually cuts it out and you don't hear it at all. See that? So I'm just questioning how useful this feature really is, because you turn it on and you completely lose the signal. Turn it off, and yes, it's staticky, but you can still hear it.
Mostly cloudy. A 50% chance of snow showers. Snow accumulation around the least possible.
Look at that.
Just up to 50 miles an hour.
And then there's one other example I want to try here. It's actually over on this side. This is a simulcast repeater, and there's some pretty bad simulcast multipath where you get distortion, and it makes a really weird noise in the background, like a grinding sound. Here it is with Super DX turned off. Let's see if we can get that grinding noise. W3MSB testing. There, hear that? That's that really bad multipath. Let's turn it on now. You can also hear it changes the speaker, but here we go. W3MSB testing. And it's still there. I have no idea what that guy's saying. Oh, it's Dave. Hi, Dave. Sorry, I'm testing a new radio here. I'm testing a new YAESU. I'm trying out that new Super DX mode where it filters the audio. I had the filter turned on and I could barely understand what you were saying. Let's do a quick demo here. Come on back to me and I'll leave it. I'll turn it on and off. Make a long transmission, please. So this is it off.
Wow, you mean Mr. Motorola. Mr. Motorola is also a YAESU. Well, congratulations on the
Oof. makes it completely unintelligible.
Yeah, totally. Totally. But good to hear band applause occasionally. So, I am not familiar with any of these stuff. So what's the purpose of the Super DX?
So you can see there, with this example where there's simulcast distortion,
I am slightly intrigued.
very bad simulcast distortion.
I
You turn Super DX on and you completely lose the audio.
I'm quite behind on the technology.
Very interesting. Yeah, real good, real good. You're being part of a YouTube video here, so thank you. Super DX mode is on these new Yaesu mobiles. It's audio filtering, like a digital audio filtering. They claim it increases receiver sensitivity, but in my opinion, it just is digital audio processing, and it makes every signal sound like you're talking in a fishbowl. I don't know. I think it's pretty cheesy. I don't really see the usefulness of it. Under very certain conditions, it filters static out pretty well. But even when it does that, you lose the static, but you get a really strange digital artifact.
FYI, simulcast repeater. So now I get to be internet famous. Make sure I get a cut of the proceeds. So I guess it sounds like amateur CMR then.
So that sounds okay, but now it sounds bad.
Yeah.
So you see, under certain conditions, actually under a lot of conditions, the Super DX mode actually completely wrecks the signal and you can't hear them at all. Anyway, that was the Super DX demonstration here on the FTM 150.